channel you are. And we this is something that we have touched on a little bit on the channel, but not as much as maybe I should be touching on it. You know what I'm saying? And just the game of basketball, where it's been, what it's going through, where it's going. It's funny because you can obviously see the community torn two types of ways, at least on the internet. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of talk around the game and, quote unquote goats and all this nonsense. I think we've been inflating the game with just to create narratives for God knows what reason. But, you know, basketball has really been a blessing in my life, just due to expression and due to just really a relief type of thing, like a great meditation zone. You know what I'm saying? Like picking up the ball, going to the court early in the morning, just getting a good shoot around. You know what I mean? Or just playing pickup with the homies. Whatever it is, man. Just it's a great release, I believe, at least for me. And it's unfortunate that it gets pimped out, I guess, to an extent. There is there's obviously an elite level when it comes to basketball, so money and things of that nature, business come in, and I can't say necessarily corrupt the game, but they create these stigmas and energies around the game that to me is more or less just less needed. You know what I'm saying? And there's a passion for the game, and then there's just the ride-alongers. You know what I mean? Or just who's with the hype. You know what I'm saying? But ballers, I do recognize in these arguments as well, or topics that be brought to the table as well. It's like you can really see, ones that know the game and dudes who is just talking. You know what I'm saying? It's very apparent. You know what I mean? And I don't say that to step on any toes. I'm just saying the game is obviously viewed very differently across the world, right? And to say there is one correct way to play the game, I guess, is pretty closed-minded. But there is a creativity to basketball and a artistic view of basketball as well. It's beyond just the physical and the athleticism. It's also character. It's also skill. It's also mental. There's a lot of ways to play the game of basketball, and a lot of things go into a game than just what you see. And I think Magic Johnson, when you're talking about the greatest basketball players of all time, he's going to be on most people's list. And when you talk about creativity, I feel if he's not in your top five on that list, like if you had a top five most creative basketball players, I feel if he was not in your top five on that list, we'd have to, be kind of, we'd be kind of suspect. But creativity is something that is obviously used amongst the greatest of the greats. I think Nikola Jokic is a great example of that just as of late. Not the most athletic, definitely not the fastest, doesn't jump the highest, probably not the strongest, definitely a big body, but his creativity and his mind and how it works the game and how he puts people in position to be a better player. And not only that, he knows how to take over games. So it's all just wrapped up into one big package. And he's one of those guys that he's a fundamentally sound guy. So a lot of people talk Tim Duncan and things like that. Fundamentally sound, just again, not a guy that jumps out the gym, not a guy that has handles or not gonna break you down or nothing like that. But just as far as footwork and understanding his strengths to the game, does it at the best of his ability. So Magic Johnson is an odd case because I don't think he's the most athletic guard, but I do think he's a bigger guard, at 6'9", definitely. People want to talk about the old school's handles. They'll tell you that they can't dribble with both hands, which I think is very facetious and very disrespectful to the game. I don't think, obviously, you weren't breaking down each opponent on every possession, but I don't think that's necessarily good for the game in itself. Like James Harden did do that for a long time, just did the ISO ball, going to show you all my handle through the step back, but where did that get him? You know what I'm saying? Where has that gotten him? You know what I'm saying? Magic Johnson and a lot of these old school ballers, not just Magic Johnson, dribble with a purpose. So they're trying to get to a spot. They're trying to be efficient as efficient as they can. And obviously, one of Magic's greatest assets is his passing ability, which allows for people to get to spots with confidence because they know Magic will find them. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot that goes into balling, man. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but we are going to check out this career mixtape of Magic Johnson. Just probably going to see a lot of nice dimes, a lot of mind games played with the defenders, and just, it's showtime. So a lot of fast breaking. Let's get to it.
This man has a smile that lights up a television screen from here to Bangor, Maine. One of the greatest players of all time. It's showtime.
He had a passion, an incredible passion to play basketball. He loved the game. He loved to entertain the crowd.
Magic's just a great basketball player. He's the best I've ever seen.
He was my driving force.
I just don't think there'll ever be another 6'9" point guard that smiles while he humiliates you.
Now the ball in low to Magic Johnson. No, look to Kareem Star. Lakers, Magic Johnson has it against Sellers. Down.
But he can't dribble with his left hand. Notice how each one of these dribbles was switching hands, first of all. And second of all, wasn't I don't want to use efficient, but a very precise pattern to get to where he needed to be.
Lakers, Magic Johnson has it against Sellers. Down the lane to the hook, lays it in.
You see what I'm saying, man? It's just beautiful, bro. Like, these are types of things that are like, I don't know, like, we don't give these guys credit for being creative ballers. And, you hear these ludicrous takes of plumbers and, God, they just drive me insane with all these stupid ass takes you hear, man. It's just real ignorant, you know what I mean? And that's why I really wanted to bring up Magic Johnson today. But let me continue.
Against Sellers. Down the lane to the hook, lays it in. Draws the foul. A spectacular play by Magic Johnson. That was a showtime move. Spectacular play.
Magic was the only guy that I've ever seen really throw a no-look pass. Look at a guy, time him, look you off, and then hit that guy in the dime without even looking at him.
Puts it up and scores on a finger roll. 5 for Kareem Hurt. Kareem turned an ankle. Kareem is hurt. I don't think Kareem is going to be able to go anymore right now.
And so Magic on the airplane asked the coach, could I please start at center? And the coach kind of laughed at him, and I said to the coach, he's serious.
I called my dad and I said, I'm going to go back to my high school days. He said, what are you talking about? I'm going to go back and be a scorer. I'm going to score tomorrow. I'm going to score a lot tomorrow.
It was his show. He jumped center. He ended up scoring 42 points, 15 rebounds.
We played everybody conceivable against them defenses. And here's a guy that, what was he, 20 years old?
There it is. It's over, and the most valuable player is Magic Johnson. He starts at center, plays forward and guard, and leads the Los Angeles Lakers to a world championship. Sensational, dazzling, showtime, painting by Magic. Rebound to Kareem, down the pass to Magic. And a sensational pass. The guy who
breezing through the fast break. We stick off and run it because we knew if you got out there and you filled the lane, Magic would get you the basketball.
The Magic, a 360 turn with the dribble. Magic down the middle. Gives underneath to Worthy. Slammed up. It's showtime.
It became bigger than a basketball game. It became more of an event. We just happened to be right next door to Hollywood.
Well, it's the perfect name for him because when he gets on the court, he is magic.
You know, he found an incredible desire to want to play basketball and play it at its fullest. And so Earvin's personality made that team showtime.
Irvin's the type of player that can hit you when you're open, and oftentimes he knew you were open before you knew you were.
He sees the open man. He knows when to get the ball to the right person at the right time at the right place.
Anything's possible when you smell like Old Spice and not the Witchers.
The only way to make it yours is to touch every bolt.
Magic could take a snapshot of the court. He could be in effort to get a rebound. And when the ball hit his hand, he just took a quick snapshot, and that's all he needed to take.
Magic Johnson is so competitive.
He really hates to lose. I mean, he really does. It's a passion with him to win and win at all costs.
And this is something that you're not seeing in the league today, as they comment on Magic Johnson's will to win. We have thrown winning aside when we talk about players and their accomplishments, man. Like, I get it. We got to give people their flowers. I'm not trying to be a hater, man. People want to label that as being a hater. And I ain't even against giving people their flowers, but give them their appropriate flowers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be buying bouquets for niggas that need a rose. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, it's and ain't no disrespect to anybody that's done anything as far as on any level in any sport. You know what I'm saying? Credit where credit is due, right? But this I guess this hits a note with me because we have so many great talents in the league today, but we have terrible attitudes, man. And Magic Johnson, from jump of the video, was, you know, again, appreciated and embraced because of his positive energy that he brings to the court for the guys on his team, for everybody around him. And it's not just the smile, it's how he plays. He's such an unselfish player. You might have seen me checking with my phone. I was actually checking his turnovers. And he is 15 on all-time turnovers list. Obviously from most turnovers to least turnovers. And, you know, if you check out that list, it's all stars as far as, like, the list and how it depletes, but that's due to playing time and, you know what I'm saying, what your role is as a player in general, right? So at the top of the list, which you'll never hear in the media, they don't want you to know this, but it's LeBron James. And they'll also credit LeBron James as being one of the better passers, you know, of all time, which he is. I would say that. But when you talk about a better passer than Magic Johnson, just due to the numbers, if you look at the list, Magic Johnson, who granted didn't play as long as LeBron, LeBron has 4,966 turnovers, leading, still compiling. And Magic Johnson at 15 has 3,506. So a clean 1,400 less turnovers, which to me is a huge deal because he's never a liability with the ball in his hands. Not to say that LeBron's always a liability, but y'all know what it is, man. He be traveling. He be doing a lot. He be getting away with a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's just interesting to me that we don't take these things into account. Like, we don't even hear these things. And as far as running the break or having a go-to move, like when they talk about this GOAT argument and they just disregard Magic Johnson, which not everyone does, but just from, and I don't want to get down on the LeBron guys because I know they always think I'm trying to get down on them, but for me, it's just the game of basketball. It's way past the numbers. Like, it's called Showtime for a reason. Like, it's not just Magic who's jumping off the page. The whole roster jumps off the page due to Magic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like that. But what do you hear when you talk about a LeBron team? LeBron didn't have no help. LeBron didn't play with nobody. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and third. And it's like, yo, man, like, are you seeing the same teams that I'm seeing him play for, man? And it's like you got these teams that are stacked. Like, if you gave him to Magic Johnson, I feel we're going to run all day. You know what I'm saying? Because he's going to have those guys filled with the confidence to do that. And again, not to knock on those guys, but where do you see the jump off the page appeal in these games today? Like, it's very few and far between. Like, the level of play, like the level of skill play, athleticism, and all that, yes, it's at a higher level. I can't knock that. Like, athleticism and physicality, or just the physical abilities of these athletes, I'd say ultimately, yes, it's on a higher level. But when we're talking about creativity, inventiveness, being a spectacle, nah, you don't get a lot of that. And Magic Johnson, again, is not the most athletic guy, but he's a spectacle. Again, Nikola Jokic, not the most athletic guy, but he's a spectacle. You know what I mean? His game literally jumps off the page. And his effect on the court is that potent. I digress.
Magic Johnson is so competitive.
He really hates to lose. I mean, he really does. It's a passion with him to win and win at all costs.
When the pressure gets tight, there are only a few players that want the basketball, and Magic wants the ball.
Ball is in the Magic. Magic to the dribble. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. Magic's 18-footer. Wins it. Was he fouled? No. Did he make a miraculous shot? Yes. Has he ever done it before? You bet he has. Will he ever do it again? Time and time again. You've heard of winning time.
Another stat you'll hear thrown out there with no context whatsoever. Yes, LeBron is in the top clutch shots of all time, or most made clutch shots of all time, but we're talking about winning time. When we need a shot in winning time, who do we go to? Well, I'm going to tell you who we went to in LeBron's era. We went to Kyrie, we went to Ray Allen, and then we went to the bubble. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't even trying to knock the bubble. The one ring I do give LeBron is the 3-1 comeback, or the 1-3 comeback, however you want to look at it. I will give that one that is due diligence. So you earned that one, my brother. I appreciate that one for sure. But we got to stop with these loose takes with no context, man. Like, clutch shots are clutch shots, yes, throughout the regular season. When it's crunch time, clutch shots are made, no question. But when you're at winning time and you're the all-star, you are the star, the greatest of stars rise to the occasion. And I ain't saying you got to call for the ball, but I'm saying the greatest, if we're talking about the greatest of all time, and you don't call for the ball, and you don't have a legitimate game that no one can stop, they can know what's coming, and they still can't stop it. It's like, I got a problem with saying you're the greatest of all time. And not only that, I can foul you and probably guarantee on you missing. I'm not fouling Magic Johnson in crunch time. You feel me? And these guys will tell you that. I'm not fouling him in crunch time. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give him the ball and get out the way. Because that's how we've been coached. And this is another problem. We have a problem with leadership in the NBA now. Everybody wants to be that guy. And I understand that because the egos are so high. But there's an order line in basketball, man. But to make a true team work, people have to know their roles and stick to their roles. And it takes a humility for that. So let me get off my high horse, man. I've said too much.
Well, this is magic time. When the game's on the line, Magic Johnson always seems to take over.
He throws to the other end. So good, and it's knocked away. Loose ball with 15 seconds, and Johnson has it. And he throws up a prayer. And he goes. Magic Johnson throws up a prayer.
Magic fires for three. Got it at the buzzer. Magic hit a three-pointer. The Lakers win.
As long as Larry's on the other side and I'm on this side, it's going to always be that. You always have somebody in life that you want to be and you want to compete against. And Larry Bird is the guy.
And just from jump, man, so to take it on a deeper level, which I hate to do, but I feel it's necessary, to take it even on a deeper level, you got to think where the energy is focused. Yeah, we have finals today, but the energy does not match the energy of this stadium in that building on that night in the 80s at some point in time, Lakers and Celtics. Now, hear me on this, because there are no phones. If you're hearing about the game, you are an enthused NBA fan. You've been reading the newspaper. You've been pen paling back and forth. You might have had like payphones or something. I was 91, guys, so I'm not around the 80s. But I do know enough to know that there was not much. There's very limited communication to what it is now. And there was not as much money in basketball as there is now. So there's the guys that are on the court have put their, not to say that the guys on the court now haven't put their hard-earned effort into it, but these guys are in a different era to where any check they earned, it was truly, truly earned. It just wasn't given to you because you had a great college season. You know what I'm saying? You're not just a great prospect. You know what I'm saying? You didn't just get the check because you were a great prospect. You came in expected to perform. You know what I'm saying? And these guys, everyone on the court, I use the technology point to say that everybody on the court, everybody in the stadium has a common focus of basketball. And when those eyes are in the stadium, their eyes are on the game. Now, when you're in the stadium, your eye could be on the game, or your eyes in your phone, or you're trying to video somebody. So there's already a distortion in the energy as far as focus and ultimate hype, as far as how high it can actually go. You know what I'm saying? Because not everybody's on a focus plane. Like when you see these shots hit and the building blows up, like, yeah, we have rare occurrences, but these are shots that it's like through the whole game, like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody in the crowd is involved, man. There's nobody that's not involved, I guess is what I'm saying. But they're so involved because there's not as many distractions from the players to the audience. There's not as many distractions apparent to them. So everybody's focus is tunnel vision. And I say that generally because obviously not everybody's life in here is put together. But definitely Magic Johnson, without question, is tunnel vision at this point in time playing basketball. So you got to stop these. Again, I feel mindset is one of the things that we just toss away to the side when we talk about great players. A lot of these older players, as much as y'all want to say old heads or y'all don't know like how good these guys are now, these guys had mindsets for basketball and nothing else. Like, if it was anything else, it was, I don't even know what it was, the females probably, because they was definitely getting it in on that track. But you know what I'm saying? Like, these guys are ballers, straight up, just straight up. Like, even prior to them, when you talk about the Bill Russells, people will say Bill Russell didn't play nobody. But think of what Bill Russell's dealing with in those times, man. He's dealing with racism on an all-time high. He's up there in Boston. His house is literally getting graffitied up and torn down in between games, man. And this dude still gave you 11 titles through the hardship. And now we got guys coming on here complaining about this, that, and the third. Like, come on, man. Y'all know what these NBA players, I ain't even going to get deep on that, but y'all know what these NBA players be sitting out with, man. It ain't nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing like that. So we got to stop these narratives like these guys weren't tough dudes, man. They might not be, again, physically, athletically, they might not have had the aids that these guys have today. But when we're talking about mindset for the game, creativity for the game, and innovativeness for the game, there ain't many players today that come into the league on these guys' level, man. So just stop it with all that nonsense y'all be spitting a lot of time, man. For real. I digress.
So the final celebration belongs here.
3 months ago, he announced his retirement from the NBA after testing positive for the HIV virus. But he was voted by the fans as one of the starting guards for the Western Conference Stars.
Players of all time, making his playoff All-Star appearance, Brooklyn Magic Johnson. The crowd on its feet. Magic Johnson. Boy, he is really sharp.
I got to tell you, Bob, I got a bit of a chill myself just watching him go out there. You know, this guy has meant so much to basketball. I really do. I feel privileged to see this.
One-on-one, Isaiah against his buddy Magic. Magic raises his hand triumphantly. They're all taking a shot at the Magic. Oh, now it's Jordan against Magic. And that's two Magic said, bring the next one on. Showtime in Orlando. The final seconds. 6, 5, three-pointer. Yes! Oh, my! Ladies and gentlemen, you just can't orchestrate it better than that.
Thank you. Maybe you'll see me back, maybe you won't, but I'll remember all these good times this afternoon. I'd like to thank you for sharing this with me. Thank you.
And man, these guys are just all around, like, I can't say all around great guys, but Magic Johnson is a good staple as to like how you should present yourself, at least to the media. And same with Michael Jordan, and same with Larry Bird. These guys are charismatic guys. You know, you hear people refer to them as trash talkers and this, that, and the third. These guys were confident in their craft, and we're going to let you know they were confident in the craft. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. People will put a bad taste in your mouth with all the rumors and slander they be putting on these guys. And I get it, man. Like, yes, this is projected to make these guys look this way, this, that, and the third. Man, you have an option each and every day to come out and be respected or be just, you know, somebody who's not. You know what I mean? So I appreciate Magic Johnson, just his whole attitude, you know, dealing with what he's dealing with and just coming out there and balling out, enjoying himself, man. These guys are truly having a fun time on the court. And it's apparent, man. It's just a great thing to watch. And not only are they having fun, but it's competitive fun. They really wanted to see who the best was. And we don't get much of that nowadays, for real.
We play this game to win, to have fun, and to make people happy. And if I can...
What did I just say? He plays it to win? First off, because that's what it's about. Don't get it twisted. It's about winning. To have fun, I want to play this to the best of my ability, show my ability, and to please others, to make others happy. So my ability can spread the energy to the crowd, to my teammates, that with it's positivity, and we gonna win with positive vibes and good vibes, man. It's a blessing, bro. It is.
Accomplish over 3 things. I've done what I set out to do.
Hold on, I gotta hear him say it.
Play this game to win, to have fun, and to make people happy. And if I can accomplish those 3 things, I've done what I set out to do.
Couldn't have said it much better myself, Magic Johnson. You know, man, it's things like this, it's clips like these that you watch, and it's not even a question to me when you talk about a better game. I'm not talking about better players right now, but just a better game to watch. These guys in the 80s, mid 80s to mid 90s, early 2000s guys, which I did get a lot of the early 2000s, no question. But those guys right there got to truly see some great balling. I think, you know, it's not all the players' fault. Rules have been changed so much to gear towards the offensive side of the game that you don't get to see great two-way players. And even though we could still probably see great two-way players, that effort on that end of the court or the defensive end of the court just isn't given as much nowadays to where we can get the excitement that we used to get in those older days. Because you can tell, like, a lot of these moves that they're pulling off, they're well defended. There's always a man up, you know what I'm saying? So you have to have a type of bag, as they would say nowadays, to even make anything happen, man. So, and to be just, again, as gifted as Magic was, but seeing the floor, knowing people's spots, knowing his spots, it's truly magic to see, right? It's showtime. So without further ado, I feel like I dropped a few nuggets hopefully y'all can take in and look past the emotionality of it all and just check the technicality of it all, and again, the little nuances and niches that was in every era, man, that people had to overcome just to be successful in their era, man. And some people do that a type of way that I feel should be respected more than others. Not even necessarily that I feel that way, but there's definitely a way to go about making your career that you should take, as opposed to just trying to be in the limelight, man. And I'm not trying to dog on the LeBron guys. Let me hit y'all up one more time. I just feel he's a prime example right now, again, with these whole GOAT debates and all this stuff, man. Now you hear these new kids coming up talking about they the next GOAT. So, man, just do your work first, man. And not only that, man, like, again, it's not what you do, but to me, it's how you do it. Magic Johnson did it the right way, man. He just did it the right way, and I think anybody around his career would tell you that he did it the right way. So that's where I'm gonna leave it, man. I appreciate y'all coming through. You know, like and subscribe if you've been with me this far. I appreciate y'all. This is D's World. And yeah, until next time, we're definitely gonna chop it up on some more basketball shit. I want to talk up a lot of different types of styles on the court, man, and really try and break down the game to maybe open some eyes to some people, and you know what I'm saying, to where they look past just the what's the word, the gloss of the game, or the cosmetics, you know what I'm saying, or the vainness of the game. That's a better word I'm looking for, the vanity of the game. I'm just trying to get rid of that vanity of the game, man. So yeah, that's what it is, and we might not even accomplish that, but if I can put any type of energy that's going, you know, open some people to be more themselves on the court and understand the game on an elite level, that's amazing. So yeah, appreciate y'all. Keep God close. This is your host, Jerome. Yo,